Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Terratech with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome back to the R&D mode where today we are building our craft dedicated to the Hunter Railgun. Now, in the past, I've got to be honest, railguns may have been my least favourite weapon. The reason is, although they are incredibly powerful, and when they work, they are fantastic to watch, they're just a little bit difficult to use, since their whole purpose is they have very long ranges. If we just put ourselves here, we can see we managed to hit the bomb, and did we clip the cube? No, but either way, we can hit things very far away. That's kind of the whole point. The problem is, trying to aim this weapon, as I'm proving now with my terrible aim, is incredibly difficult. But there we go, now we can hit that target, but the slight recoil is completely messing us up. So our vehicle obviously needs to be a lot heavier than just this. Now, the reason why I believe the Hunter Railgun will make me like railguns a lot more is although it can still do this, the long-range weapons, because it is fixed to an anchor, it means at medium range, where you can actually lock onto the target, you don't need to be facing directly at them. You have a lot more leeway when it comes to aiming at the enemy. In fact, we're going to test that out right now. Yep, that is really good. So, it's not a full 180. In fact, yeah, it can't quite turn fully to the side, but even so, that's fine. It means this can be a bit of a brawler. Now, it's not intended for that, and it will be outdone by other weapons, but it means in the situation, if it so arises, it's not going to instantly die at close range. And because of how fast the shots are, even fast enemies should be taken down by this weapon. Did that go through the shield a little bit? Wait, do railguns go through shields? I'm about to learn something today. No, it seems like there is just a very small explosion associated with the weapon. Okay. So either way, the purpose of this is to do a lot of damage to one area. So we just need enough railguns to do that, and honestly, that's not too many. But I still think spamming them is the way to go. So, what type of tech shall we put the rails on? I think Hawkeye. Honestly, I think we should go with a Hawkeye craft, most likely using tracks. This way we have a lot of heavy armor, so it's just a lot easier to use. Plus, the extra weight means that our turning is slowed, which may sound like a bad thing, but when you're trying to aim very slightly, I think that will be very good. So, don't need any of this. Goodbye! Let's get building. Here's something I keep forgetting. Over time, if you hold down fire, the weapons will naturally desync. It's weird to watch, but actually it's massively beneficial. The reason is now, the shots aren't all hitting the same block at the same time, whereas before, if we just let this recharge, they all hit at exactly the same time, and thus the damage isn't really sent forward, but it does mean that block is pretty much guaranteed to be dead. Interesting. Okay, let's carry on. So, I'm going to have some internal wheels here, well, some internal tracks. Then I'm going to have a second layer of rails behind this. Then at the back, I don't really know, perhaps some basic weaponry just to defend us from attacks from behind. After a fair bit of testing, it seems like this doesn't really affect its ability to aim down or up too much, so I feel like this is what we're going to go with. If nothing else, it will look a bit more unique than my other gun beds, because a lot of my techs have just become that. So, let's add a couple more layers and see how it looks when it's finished. At least 2 layers of guns at minimum. Here's a thought. We could, rather than having them tiered like this, have them tiered out and then back in. This way, I think the bottom will look a little bit weird, but it means we can add wheels very easily, or tracks, or whatever we end up using, and we won't get stuck on hills as much, which is going to be a big problem, because with these type of weapons, at long range, you're going to need to angle yourself on the terrain quite a lot, because sadly the game itself isn't this flat. So I think that will help out quite a bit. Then just let them desync over time. That's interesting, because there's so many hits now as well, it seems like they're pushing the block away and completely destroying it. Maybe if we get a certain critical mass, critical mass. We can go straight through. Basically, if we get a critical potato and we mash it up, throw it at the enemy, we are going to destroy them very easily. You do now know I am calling this craft critical mash. Okay, so what I'm thinking now is rather than having the full layer of guns, is just keep these middle 4, then use this to start adding the wheels. I think it would make it all look a bit more uniform while still keeping this tiered look. We could even add one more tier and then bring that in, and then that could be connected to shields and power and stuff like that. This is going to be so much bigger than I originally intended, but still, weapons are weapons at the end of the day, and who doesn't love that? It's going to be interesting to test this out against much larger opponents. So I've been doing a little bit of testing, and I am being convinced by the railguns. The damage is phenomenal, and they rapidly break through shields because of their sheer damage. So 1 shot, 2 shot, and there goes the shield, and then the rest, well, it's gone. Very simple, very effective. And larger vehicles are going to have a really bad time because all of these are hitting the same spot. They're going to rapidly take out their batteries and such. The only problem is locking on. So, locking on, I can only lock on it... Yeah, okay, so now I can't. As I was trying to say there. Although we did almost kill the next target by mistake. So even with so many shots... There we go! That's cool. But yeah, we need to lock on to do maximum damage with this type of build, since the weapon's all over the place. And since people were asking me how to lock on the PC, it's the middle mouse button by default. Now, I don't know how you lock on console, or if you even can. So, if anyone can enlighten me in the comments, feel free to. Oh, back, back, back. Don't want to lose this thing. I've only just saved it, but still. Thank you. Let's continue the build. Although I really do like this build of just the gyroscope. I mean, look, it works. And it's not that slow either. 60 miles an hour, that's not bad for this thing. The thing is, do I want more weapons? I don't think I do. I don't want it to be much larger than it is now, so we're not even going to add much to the back. I may still use a gyroscope, since I don't want to use too many tracks, but it's not going to be much bigger than it is right now. Oh, some of those guns aren't firing. Oh, because we're weirdly angled because of the gyroscope and the fact we are massively front-heavy. So that is a problem with how we've done this tier system, but I just like how it looks. And it normally works. Help me. Why? Yet it still works. Good to know. Let's say, for argument's sake, I'm a little bit derpy. I know, argument's sake though. And I wanted to keep this craft like this. You know, with just 2 sets of wheels. Uh-oh. Friends? No, you're not attacking me. Good, so you are friends. Can this hit them? Will that activate them? They're so friendly they don't even attack. Well, how bad will this be at climbing things? Thankfully, when it's going forwards, it does naturally tip upwards anyway. No damage! Oh, look how awesomely that moves. It's so dumb. I love it. But here's the thing. It's turning speed. It's just beautiful when it's staying still. It's so quick. And even when moving, it's still a fairly quick turn. In fact, it's a very quick turn. It does sort of slow down its forward propulsion, but even so. Hello there, friends. Friends? Friends, you appear to be accidentally firing your weapons at me. Oh good, do you want to kill the Terratech sign more than you want to kill me? Now that's not loyalty to your creator. There he goes. Oh wait, we only have 2 batteries. We shouldn't be standing in the line of fire. There's the issue though. All of the batteries at the back are most likely to be exposed if we keep with this type of style. Looks like a half-built craft as well. Definitely need to do more to its style if we do keep this idea. Yeah, not sold on the rails. It's a nice alternative. It's a fun weapon. Uh-oh. And I'm gone. there's corpses everywhere. Ow. The Scion's revenge. Now at max range, I'm fairly certain these rails on the side should be able to aim at the target. They do have aiming capability, it's just they can't move the weapon itself. Did that actually work? Yes, it did, okay. So at max range, we now have 3 more rails. Yeah, that's loads of damage. That's really good, actually. Too many actuallys again in this. As soon as I start getting tired, the filler words come out, like actually. Or occasionally mash, apparently. I wonder what's more DPS, waiting for them all to charge and then firing, or allowing them to desync. I don't know. Either way, it looks awesome. Okay. Let's continue. I was just thinking about aiming at long ranges. One of the problems is there isn't really a block in this game which allows you to extend any of the tech, so you can't angle yourself in a more specific way. But the thing is, since we're so heavy, and we have this powerful gyroscope, if I add some of these on the back... Aiming down, aiming up. It's not much, but it will make a huge difference to where I'm targeting. And that's likely to be a speed boost. And I think I'm being proven wrong. Turning off. No, it slows us down because it adds more friction. Darn it. But the idea was sound. I could just make this thing fly. I could make this thing fly and land. That would remove a lot of the problems when it comes to being able to get over cliffs and stuff with only 2 wheel sections. The problem is we are very, very heavy. Oh, but we do have these. Wow, we are way heavier than I thought we were. Yeah, there is no chance we're going to be trying to make this thing fly. We're not even finished yet in terms of weight, and yeah. Cool idea. We'll do it in the future. Not now. Sorry, random parts. More batteries and more thrusters, which now means it's way too back heavy. On the upside, that does mean we can get up cliffs a lot easier since our angle's better for that. And then when we're stationary, it's not quite as pronounced. Still pretty bad, though. Decent speed with the thrust on. Hello, yeah, there's too much on the back. Still. All weapons firing? The slight angle isn't hurting it? No, that seems fine. Yeah, too much there, this looks way too silly. Okay. Back to work. That's better. Not quite as far down, and then when it's stationary, it's almost completely flat. But it still has a slight angle, which makes it easier to climb up hills, unless the thrusters are on. Yep, this will work out just fine. It's so silly just having these 2 wheel sections, but yep, that's definitely best for climbing, so... I'm going to say, for now, this is done. I feel like... I don't know. I feel like I don't know what else I want to add. It's not even so much as, I want to come back later and add more. I don't know what else I want to add to this thing. Maybe it's the lack of experience with rails. I'm sure as I use it, I'll think to myself, oh, it'd be good to have this section, blah, blah, blah. But for now, it has a decent battery capacity, a decent fuel capacity, and a decent amount of weapons. It's also good at turning. So, I'll be right back in the campaign. Let's see how long it's going to take to build this, and then do some tests with it. Not as bad as I originally thought. So we need 9 of the new rails, we need 8 of the new Hawkeye 6 blocks. So let's just get back to base and see what we can do about that then. And on the way, try to visit every single trade station we can. Also probably swap out techs, since this thing can't climb properly. Yeah, this isn't going to be fun. Let's just get to this at least. Ow. Ow. Everything hurts. Railgun. Oh, 2 of them. Lovely. I was not expecting that. So, I will be right back. Managed to get 2 more of the rails, and I'll get some more in a little while. Welcome back to the crafting base, as always. And as always, I'm going to say at some point I will fix the FPS loss. Okay, here we are. So, wow, these wheels do not like the ice. There we go, it's kind of hopping in place. And what I would like are lots and lots of these. Ta-da! So we need yellow, blue, and that's pretty much it. No, and a bit of Plumbia. What do we have? Ooh, we don't have much blue. Now, thankfully, we did get some yellow recently in the missions, so I'll just go ahead and create that. There we are, there we are. That's the light blue. We have some of the dark blue here. At some point, I will memorize the— oh, God, we have loads of it. Never mind, we're fine. We've got a Geocorp block worth, which, of course, is 120 of them. We're fine. So, I'll go ahead and make those, and then we'll go out and get the rest of the railguns. I wanted to call them flamers then, so much. I like how we picked this area specifically because we can see this special biome, and then we've never used this biome. We need to use this biome soon, for something. Anything. Ooh, 2 more railguns, lovely. Not far off now, at all. Then we can do at least 1 mission, though I'm hoping a couple before I run out of time. And I am rapidly running out of time. As always, time is precious. Has that moon always looked like that? I'm probably going mad and losing my memory, but still. Also, we are way too high up. Down. But let's not die. It's also nice using a plane again, I have to say. Need to build a plane soon, and since we have those new propellers, that's definitely on the list. Yeah, there's the regular moon. So is that— I don't know. Oh, good. A trade station. Will we get what we need? If not, I'll be right back. There's plenty more to see. So, the flail guard was flailing. Had to be said. After going to so many trade stations, finally the tech is up and running and we can do some tests with the weapon. Now, I have had to do a few changes to the craft after creating it, which is kind of sad, but was necessary. The first change was I needed these little extra tracks at the back purely because this thing would not stay flat on flat ground, so I was unable to do basic things like, you know, fire at things far away with a railgun. It was pretty horrendous. On the upside, that has made everything a bit sturdier, and it does climb incredibly well. Weirdly, this thing climbs well. It doesn't look like it should be able to, but apparently it can. Now, what do we have here? If you're quick enough, obviously that's not us. Let's do unboxing. That will most likely spawn in some enemies, and we can also grab this one as well, which will also most likely spawn in enemies. Okay, let's go find some good enemies to test against and see how we do. My hopes are sort of mid-range right now. I feel like it's going to be a little bit underwhelming, but very consistent. And— huh? What's that noise? Probably enemies, mate. Wow, we did some internal damage with the first few shots, and there we go! Look at that melting through the target! And say goodbye to the enemy. So unshielded enemies are very vulnerable to this, it seems. And since it seems like we aim at the cab, naturally, if the cab's even slightly exposed— okay, you do have shield. Oh wait, no, I'm not hitting you because the crate's in the way. Never mind, the rails are awesome. That was pretty awesome. Any more enemies? Or are we good to go? I think we're good to go. Yes, we are. Lovely. First mission complete. Surprisingly happy. Surprisingly happy. Hello there. You had missiles. You don't anymore. Did you drop any? Aww. I'll leave your corpse to rot. It's actually on the hill. That's going to cause so many problems for the spawning techs, I guarantee it. Oh, no, no, I think it's on the other side. I thought it was literally there. Hello? Oh. It wasn't even a trap. Okay, then. I'm sorry, but there was no chance you could move fast enough to dodge railgun shots. At least it can climb well. Wave of bullies. Perfect. That way we can just stand there and keep on attacking things to see how the weapon does versus multiple targets. Lovely. Let's go. Excuse me, sir, you're not the bullies we're after. Now I'm just going to leave you like that. A very angry man, of course. Okay, maybe I should kill you first. Hello there, very angry man. Help me! I'm under attack! You've got to help me! Well, you do appear to be quite angry. Just desync the weapons, because why not? Let's go for you first. Actually, no, how about the one speeding towards you? The Boom Buggy. Love the name. However, there are much scarier things currently catching up with me. Shouldn't have been distracted so much. Mission failed! Whoops, I forgot you need to stay near them. Oh well. He was going to be an angry man anyway. Well, we hit the wrong target, but did a lot of damage to it at least. Let's go for that one with all the armor. Goodbye. You have megaton cannons, so obviously you're the next target. Yep, we got straight through all those repair bubbles because of the sheer amount of damage per shot. That's why only repair bubbles don't really work. If anything does enough damage to knock off the block, it's still being knocked off, no matter how fast you're healing it. Aim for the cab. What do you aim for? Well, let us press F to pay respects for angry old man. Oh, we're almost out of bubbles. Energy. Bye! Cowered away! Taking some corpse with us. Now it's part of us. So, I think I'm going to leave it here. Although I do think this thing needs a bit more testing, I'm going to give a bit of a verdict now. I'm not majorly impressed by the railguns. I think the tech could have been better suited for the railguns, but we went down quite a silly route building it in this sort of shape. I actually quite like the tech. I think if you had other weapons, it would be a lot better. It just doesn't suit the railguns. When the railguns work, they are devastating. That's when the enemy has any vulnerable sections, because this rapidly exploits that and just destroys the enemy. It's really good against enemies which are stacking repair bubbles, because the damage all hits one spot. It doesn't really matter how fast you're healing that spot, it's gonna be dead anyway. But it lacks the... I don't know, it just lacks the devastation of some of the other later game weapons, and honestly, that's fine. Not everything has to be the same level as the Hawkeye cruise missile. I do prefer these to the regular railguns, they're much easier to use, and I think if I stacked them properly so that we had 2 more layers of them, this would have been better, especially once you start staggering the weapons. So overall, I do like the weapon. I just don't think I would choose it over many of the others. And this includes the non-really overpowered weapons, so things instead like the Zeus laser cannon. Here it is. I would rather use that than the rail, or perhaps the mortars, although I guess they are pretty overpowered, or even just the more regular weapons, as we've used in the past, like the crossfire rifle and the hailfire rifle. It's definitely lower down, but still, it was fun, and it was fun using a different weapon type. But with that, I'm afraid I really am all out of time for today's video. If you have enjoyed, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Terratech is a series you wish to see continued in the future. In future episodes, I will be making an effort to have more gameplay with the vehicle than building time, but for some reason in this video it just turned out as it did. I just spent way too much time building this thing and just not quite knowing where to go with things. In the future, I'll try to be a bit more... well, I'll be less absent-minded anyway. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.